Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from Paul. Comparing the critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for the new Avatar film, it looks like exactly the same story. Most people loved it, some really hated it. And the reasons for their opinions is also the same as it was with the last one. I saw it myself this Wednesday and absolutely loved it. Have you seen it and what did you think?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And no, I didn't see Avatar: The Way of Water. Because AMC, now look, I'm not going to get too worked up about it. This is the first time this has happened. But you guys can't see it here, but I will bring it up. So I have on my phone here my AMC app, and this is the app I use. I booked my tickets. Me and Ray. I booked my and Ray's tickets to go see Avatar: The Way of Water. And we were going to see it yesterday at 3 o'clock. And I get in the car. Ray had already gone home. So I was going to go pick him up. I'm in my car driving over to pick him up. I'm at a stoplight. And I say, just let me double check my tickets. And I open up the My Reservations page and it says, you have no reservations. I'm like, what? Steve Austin. What? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I pull over into a parking lot and I'm like, I know I bought my tickets. I know I reserved my tickets. Oh, well, whatever. So I go into the app and I see like everything's sold out, but there were a couple of single seats. So I get me a single seat and I'll get Ray a single seat. But then the AMC app says, oh, you can't do that because you have an overlapping movie with that one. I'm like, yeah, that overlapping movie is the one I already got tickets for that you say I don't have. So I had no tickets, so I couldn't go to see Avatar: The Way of Water. Fuck you very much, AMC. Granted, I've been using their app for a lot of years. This is the first time I've ever had an issue like this. So but still, I got screwed out of seeing Avatar. So I didn't see it. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, somebody else who had tickets to see Avatar yesterday did have a chance to go see it. And that was one Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. So Rob had a chance to go see it yesterday. Rob, this is the sequel to the biggest box office film of all time. There's been a lot of hype going into it. A lot of talk, obviously, visually, we're expecting something to be stunning. Anyway, you finally got to go see it. You've been excited about this movie. Did this movie live up to the hype for you? What did you think about Avatar?
Dude, I was blown away by this movie. I found this movie to be absolutely astonishing. An astonishing achievement on every level. Now, a lot of people have been criticizing me for saying this on social media already. They're like, well, Rob, you're always about character and story. And I'm like, look, I find the entire Avatar franchise now, to call it a franchise, I found it engrossing. I love the first film. I loved this movie. This movie is from a science fiction story standpoint. Now, if you're not going to buy into the world of Avatar, I get it. But I've talked about the idea of awe and wonder. I thought this was a really interesting extension on the Avatar universe. They bring up a lot of really interesting things, Earth dying, the different tribes, Awa, the goddess or god entity of Avatar, which I think that there's a direction that this whole franchise is going into. I sat there for 3 hours with my slack-jawed, watching this film. I mean, from the very opening, first of all, this is the best 3D ever done for a movie ever. And there were moments, and I was talking about this with Taylor, where there was rain falling, and you literally want to brush it aside because you think it might be dripping in the theater. I mean, the 3D is so great. And there's all of these really interesting science fiction concepts in the film. Sure, there's things you've touched on before, but by the time you get underwater, anyone who's scuba dived, if you've gone into tropical environments, whether it's Hawaii, the Bahamas, anywhere where the water is clear and you can see when you're underwater, the visual effects in this film, anyone who's going, oh, it looks like a screensaver, are idiots. They know nothing about visual effects technology. It is absolutely stunningly jaw-dropping what they're able to achieve in this film.
Now, you saw this in IMAX 3D.
I saw it in IMAX 3D. I would recommend everybody see it in IMAX 3D because that's it was optimized for IMAX 3D. And Elizabeth and I were just watching this, and you always talk about movies being experiential events.
Yes.
You experience this movie. It is a total experience. And yes, the plot, I can't help but think that if there were X-Wing fighters and Star Wars characters in these movies, nobody would have a problem with them.
Well, now hold on, because here's an interesting thing here, and we can go to my screen on this, Jonathan. But the critics clearly really like this film at 80%. The audience seems to love it, because the audience is at 94% on this, which, you know, with all the people that nobody cares about Avatar, nobody cares about this.
No.
The audience coming out of it, I mean, there's only 14 percentage points differing between the critics, and they both like it, but the audience seems to love this movie.
there is real peril in this movie. And of course, they bring back villains in an interesting way, fascinating way. Dude, when this movie was over, there was a guy standing at the corner of the theater staring at the screen. The credits had run, the lights had come up in the theater, and I was one of the last people out with Elizabeth. And I'm just going, I'm like, honey, that was just insane. And this guy turns to me and goes, wasn't it? Like, he was just standing there in a trance. He's like, I've never seen any shit like that in my whole life. And I go, I know, dude. And we all walked out together, and there was his family, like his sons.
They got in the car with each other. They just kept talking.
And his brother-in-law. And we're all standing in the lobby going, it was insane. Like, the whole thing was insane. And you can't, and I was just sure that the action in this movie, that there's a protracted action sequence at the end, and it does touch on the James Cameron greatest hits idea. But there's just shit it's just going on and on and on. And I'm like, I'm watching this going, and look, I honestly think that as I'm watching this movie, it struck me why people ask, why is James Cameron living in this world? What is it he's doing here? It is very apparent to me now that the Avatar movies are a testament. It's James Cameron's way of saving planet Earth. And
he's talked about that.
I don't mean that facetiously. You can't come out about global warming and talk about saving the whales and all this without it becoming a political issue. James Cameron is basically giving you a world that's going to turn out to be sentient. Pandora, Iowa is, the whole planet's alive. No, they don't say that in the movie. They don't say this in the movie.
Okay.
This is just a theory I have.
Right. Okay.
That's why he produced Solaris with they remade Solaris with Steven Soderbergh. Solaris was about a living planet. James Cameron is drawing from all these different science fiction concepts, cloning and all kinds of stuff. And he's putting it together in a frothy mix because no one will listen to you when you start talking about saving the environment. What he's doing is he is creating a pop entertainment that everybody will go see and love, but it will bring everybody's awareness up. When you walk out of this movie, I'm telling you, you want to save the environment. You want to do your part. And I think that over the course of on one hand, he's showing somewhere else that humanity is dying off. And he's showing us, let's not do that to our planet. We could be living on Pandora if we are custodians of the planet. And I watch this movie and I got to tell you, there's shit in here I've never seen. And I know a lot of people, again, you have to be a romantic. You have to have some kind of sense of, there's so much awe and wonder in this movie. I'm telling you, man, I can't wait to see it again. I'm going to go see it in IMAX 3D tomorrow.
The holidays are officially upon us, and it's time to start celebrating. Do your thing and holiday your way with MeUndies. Because it's the most wonderful time of the year to try MeUndies, because they're currently offering a very merry deal. Get 20% off your first purchase with free standard shipping and free returns when you go to MeUndies.com/Campea. Guys, you know I've been wearing MeUndies for a while now because I used to be like everybody else. I would go to the big store, buy the biggest box of the most generic underwear, and I thought that was good enough. But ever since I started MeUndies and started wearing the most comfortable underwear I have ever worn in my life, I swear on this Christmas season, I will never go back. So get your holiday shopping finished early and start making time for yourself with the new MeUndies holiday collection. Their undies, long underwear, and sleepwear are made out of the softest, most supple fabric you've ever felt and are guaranteed to bring you comfort and joy to all of your loved ones. Shop their classic plaid prints for a traditional, picture-perfect style, or get festive with their adventurous limited edition sweater prints. Available in sizes extra small all the way through 4XL, MeUndies has what you need to make all of your favorite people smile this holiday season, all in one convenient place. So to get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea.
Taylor,
wait.
you were actually the other one in the room who did see it. What was your impression of the movie? You enjoy it?
Yeah. Oh, I saw it at the AMC Burbank 16, and it was a madhouse there. It was nuts. The lobby was like overflowing with people. Even our theater, because it was the second showing of the day in the IMAX room, we had to wait like 20 minutes for them to finish cleaning out the room. And then they had way more trailers than normal too, but that's because they had the Oppenheimer trailer. They had the footage from Mission Impossible, which was, ooh, that made me so anxious.
Oh my God.
From the minute the movie started, like the first 15 minutes, my cheeks hurt, the cheeks on my face before anyone says anything, hurt from smiling so much because I just couldn't believe it. We were talking about this before we went live, the particles in the air.
Oh yeah,
like,
there's just
and this is not a spoiler, but there's weather in this movie, and there's a scene where there's rain, and I was with David, and he flinched because it felt like the rain was in the room. It was just the most visually gorgeous movie I've ever seen, and that's including all 4 Shrek films. Like, this movie was beautiful.
Whoa, no, calm down. Calm down. Let's bring it down a couple of notches.
Trail.
Getting a little out of hand
see
now.
this again, and luckily I have tickets to see it again in IMAX 3D Sunday, and I just. Oh, I know, but I just can't wait to like.
Are you sure you have tickets? Because I thought I had tickets.
dude.
This
The
was just so
underwater
gorgeous.
effects work, the creature, the fish design.
All right,
it's-
we actually need to move on. But guys, the question is for you. Obviously, Rob and Taylor really enjoyed this movie. Again, a 94% audience rating coming out of this thing. Did you guys have a chance to see it? What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump on down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.